everyone. So, welcome to another session of Deep Real Talk. So, today I'll be talking about being over 30 and single. Um, it's actually a very interesting topic, and I think it pertains to a lot of women because a lot of us, no matter how we find or get to being 30, over 30 and single, we find ourselves in that space. And a lot of us also, we go through things. I mean, once you're over 30, you have seen life, either you were in a relationship before and someone dumped you, whether you were married or not. And some of us find ourselves also pregnant, having had children. We find ourselves with all sorts of things, but kusalayo, the fact of the fact, what remains of the fact is that you are 30, over 30, and single. And so I'm just going to tell you a bit about my own personal experience, but I think each and every individual has their own experience when it comes to this. So, yeah. So then I think the one thing that having gone through a divorce, it changed my perspective of what relationship is, how important is a relationship. It redefined what having been in a relationship is, because I think when I first got married, I was very, why, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, very innocent, and I was just willing to give everything, into the relationship. But once you go through a divorce, or once you go through a very serious breakup, you almost you revert, or you start thinking twice about it, because now you realize that, you know what, I can live without a person. I can live without this other man in my life, and you start thinking to yourself, do I really need to be in a relationship that actually puts my heart at risk? Do I really need to be torturing myself? There's a song back in the day this other person used to sing, hi Ash, that used to say, I'd rather be alone than be unhappy. There are these things that go through your mind when you're going through a breakup. And so you have to heal, as I always say. But I think now my perspective of a relationship is that I want to be in a relationship that is worth my singleness. Like, if I'm going to stop being single and go into a relationship, there must be a reason why I'm doing this, because right now I am enjoying being single as much as I miss companionship and so forth. But the fact that I can wake up at my own time, except when I have to go to work, but I don't have to worry about cooking, I don't have to worry about this other individual, I don't have to worry about this extra human being. I don't. The only thing I have to worry about is what am I gonna eat? What am I gonna wear? What am I gonna do? If I want to go on holiday, I don't need to ask anybody else. If I want to buy something, I don't have to ask anybody. There's no budget between two people. You don't have another person to worry about. So, with that freedom of singleness, I always ask myself, if I have to go and date and marry someone, they have to be worth the price of my singleness. I don't know if that makes sense, but actually, that is how I perceive it. Because right now, also, be having a very deep relationship with God, it gives me that sense of contentment in my soul. Like, I don't have that big void of, I don't have a man and I'm lonely. It's those feelings do come. Like, I do miss it. Like, sometimes I think about cuddling with someone, having someone to talk to when you come home, all of that. But I don't have that heavy sadness sinking that most single people worry about, because I think I'm content having been with God. But also in my journey of singleness, I've met up with a lot of interesting people. I think over the 3 years, I've gone through a very dry patch where I didn't have a lot of men coming around. I haven't even gone on one date for a whole 3 years, until recently. But we won't go into that. But um for 3 years, I literally had no one. I was just by myself enjoying me. And I remember I told you that I'd said, um I didn't want to be single for a very, very long time after my divorce, but that's exactly what happened. And I think it was beneficial. But now I find myself in a space, in a place where I could see myself, see being with someone, as I've said, either with my ex or with a new person, whichever way God directs me. But I want to talk about finding a person after divorce. Hi, Nomcebo. So, finding myself a person after divorce. So, after I got divorced, then I met someone else. Hi, Zanele. Hi, Prof. I met someone else, and he was single. He was a doctor. He was hot. And nothing came of it, but he really was a wonderful person. He's a Christian. Bona, he was single. He didn't have kids. I mean, I thought to myself, this is someone that I could maybe see myself going with. But I think once the person actually Mlungisi, no, I'm not going to tell you about the recent one, but once that person actually found out that I had been divorced, he literally ghosted me. The guy disappeared. And I think in my mind, that actually freaked me out, because then I started thinking to myself, what if no one wants me because I've been divorced? And all of a sudden, I started seeing this thing of being divorced as an obstacle to me finding someone else. And it actually, I had to work through it and say, you know what, the right one that God has for you is not going to be bothered about the fact that you've been divorced. So I had to work through that. And then the other thing that happened was then that other people also started approaching me, married men. Hey, married men. You would be surprised at the number of married men who approach you. I don't know, maybe they think you're wounded, or they think you're desperate because you're over 30 and you're single, and they think that maybe they just want to rescue you, or I don't know. But one thing I told myself is that I will never, ever, ever date a married man. Never. Because number one, that married man has a wife, has got children. If I don't want to be a home wrecker. I don't want to break up a beautiful home. I don't want to be the reason for another woman's tears. Can you imagine your name written in the tears of a married woman? She is crying because her husband is not in bed with her because he's with you. Yo, I was like, Tebo Siobi is never going to be a home wrecker. May Teboho and home wrecker never be in the same sentence. So as much as they came to me, as much as they were lovely and whatever, I told them nicely that, look, sir, you have a wife, and I'm sure she's at home waiting for you. So please go home. I think to myself that I am my sister's keeper. I am supposed to protect my sister's home. So even if that woman, I don't know her, I don't know her background, I don't know her face, but Husalang, I am my sister's keeper. So I would not want my husband to be with another woman. So why must I be that woman? And these men, Shem, it's not like these are men who are sokolaring. No, these are men who are successful, who are hot, who are, if they tell you how much they take care of their family, you would be like, yeah, I want to be Mrs. So-and-so. But no, no, I don't, no. I decided that no, I'm not going to date no married man. So if you are one of those girls who right now is being approached by a married man, and these married men are not non-Christian, some of these married men are Christians, you'd be surprised. And I would be like, no. So you must be that woman who decides that I am not going to be that. So if you're one of those girls who's being approached by married men, you must make that decision before that man comes, that look, I'm not going to be that. Okay, I think I've harped on this point for too long, but yes. And then another thing is separated men. Like, separated men are a devious, dangerous ground, because they're like married. They're still married. And I don't care how much they say, yeah, I'm going to be getting divorced to my wife. Married men never leave their wives. Married men never leave their wives, especially if they were separated for some silly reason. Those two people love each other. She is his first choice. that woman who he separated with is his first choice. He married her for a reason. So I always think of that. So I would never ever date a separated man. Never, ever. Because the repercussions of what happens to your heart after that, it's painful. You know, when he loves you, there he is. And the funny thing is, on the side, he's trying to get back with his wife. Okay. And so here you are, like, thinking this is a pink cloud of joy, and next thing he's gone. Don't do it. Leave that separated man alone. And then also divorced men. Okay, divorced men are a whole kettle of fish. I know I'm divorced, but I think divorced men also, and divorced people, you need to be certain that this person has gone through their journey, that they have come out of it, you know, because if they have not come out of it and they're still wounded, they are bringing their woundedness into this relationship. So can you imagine me being divorced, this divorced person being divorced, and then it's like a full mishmash, you know? And apparently, if you've been divorced and you're going to get remarried, the chances of you getting more divorced are higher in your second marriage than your first. It's because of the woundedness. So you have to work through these things. So these are all the things that I have had to think about, you know, as a woman over 30 and divorced, that I have to think about, I have to consider, I have to work through, you know? Yeah, so those are all the things that I've had to go through. But I think more than anything, I've learned the gift of patience is the most important thing when you're going to be dating or courting when you're over 30. Because when you see now, I've been divorced, I've been in a relationship. So I don't want to get divorced again, number one. Number two, it has to count. You know, it must count. It can't be one of those things where you are in and out, in and out. And I'm not willing to compromise. As a woman who's over 30 and single, people think you're desperate, like you're looking at a clock. My biological clock is ticking and I don't have children. No, I will not compromise my happiness for a biological clock. I'm not that desperate, you know. Whoever just comes along, I'm going to pounce and just get. You know, some women will literally pay lobola for themselves. Some women will literally compromise their principles just to be in a relationship. It's not worth it, eh? It's not worth it. I think because I had gone through the pain of a painful relationship, I understand that the cost of that, the price or the cost of that is way too high. It's way too high. You know, so I am not willing to compromise my singleness and my happy bubble of joy right now for a miserable relationship, just to say I have a man, just to say I have someone to go home to. No, it's not worth it. It is really, really not worth it. And so now to go back to the thing of patience, as I was saying, is that the gift of patience is important because you need to understand who is this person you're going out with. Because when you are going out with this person, everybody puts a face, a mask on. We all pretend we're perfect. We all pretend that, you know, we put our best foot forward. You know, this is me. This is the person I'm presenting. But I don't want to show you the real me. So I will show you what you want to see, but I won't show you who I really am behind closed doors. And so the time has a way of revealing people. You know, you can't pretend to be something for very long because the nature of who you are always comes out. It always comes out. And the thing what I found is when you pray and say, God, reveal the true person, reveal the true nature of who this person is. When you pray like that and you wait and you wait and you watch, you wait and watch. Don't rush and say, yeah, this person looks like he's a good person. He's a businessman. He's got money, or he's this, or he's that, or he's a profession like this or that. You must wait. Remember, I said to you the very second episode, I said, do not marry someone for their talents and their money and what they show you. Don't do that. Mina, I'm not impressed. By who you know, by what you do, by the money you have, by the associations. But I'm not impressed by that. I'm not impressed by that. Me, I want to know your heart. I want to know the person that you truly are. That is what, because that's what you live with. You don't live with money. You don't live with status. You don't live with fame. You don't live with a profession. You live with a human being. And that is the person that you need to find out who they are. And so, as a mature woman, I have come to understand that time is your best friend when you are dating someone. You don't rush and say, I want that ring. You wait, no matter how wonderful he is, no matter how many holidays he takes you on, no matter how many promises he makes you, no matter how many gifts he buys you, you wait and you watch. You wait and you watch. Because you will think that you are dating a Black Panther, but the next thing you are dating a cheetah with spots. You think this thing is showing you it's pure black and it's beautiful. Haha. Give it time. Give it time. And do your research. Do your research. Find out who this person is. Like, if I had to date someone who's divorced, I would want to meet their ex. I would really, Shem, I'm one of those people. I would want to hunt down that ex and say to the woman and have coffee with her and ask her, exactly why did you and your ex-husband divorce? I want to hear your side of the story, because, a coin has two sides. There's always two sides to a story, and then you feel better. You feel better. I think we also underestimate meeting people's what they call it, meeting people's relatives and listening to their friends and asking important questions. So I think as a woman over 30 who's single, that is one of the things that I am actually thinking very deeply about. That when I meet this person, what are some of the things I'll do? And those are some of the things I do. So before I close, I think I have maybe another 10 minutes. Some of the more comical sides of being over 30 and single is that because like now I take care of myself and everything, you tend to get a bit of more attention. And also the married women, they want you to stay away from their husbands. So in church, these guys, they like coming, not that they're hitting on me and anything, but like they'll come, oh Sister Table, how are you, and everything, and they'll greet me, and I can see their wives in the corner looking at me like, you better keep away from my man, you better keep away from my man. So me at church, I stay away from people's husbands. I like run away. I'm like, hi, bye, and I run, because it causes me too much trouble. This attention that I get, I don't know, it's one of those things, And I think also because for some reason when people get married, they let themselves go. They stop, wearing makeup and zhuzhing themselves, especially when they have kids. They're like, stop taking care of themselves. I don't know why, it's the weirdest thing. So I think that's one of the things, if I ever got remarried, I would keep myself looking hot. Like, I won't let myself go. Like, keep doing my hair, keep looking cute, wearing nice, because I've been single over 30 and I know how men think, Here's another story I'll tell you. So I was shopping for another friend of mine, and she was it was a bachelor party, bachelorette, whatever they call that thing, party for her. So I was shopping and I was looking at the lingerie. Okay, so here I am looking at this hot red lingerie and everything, and this guy is walking with his married wife. Okay, so I'm looking like this. Okay, I'm looking cute and hot and looking at hot underwear. So you can imagine. And he's looking with his wife for pajamas. And she's busy looking at these go-go pajamas. And the poor guy is like staring at me. I mean, he's almost drooling. And I'm like, tell your wife to come over this side and buy this red lingerie. I mean, really? So this is what being 30 and single does. You get attention that is just, it's on another level, Yeah, and I think also, though sometimes I must say, I do have those dips where I'm just like, oh, I wish I had someone to go home to, And sometimes you just have those moments, like when it's raining. Okay, I love rain and thunder and one of those. I love that type of weather. And in that weather, I'm one of those romantics, I think to myself, right now, I could be drinking hot chocolate in a blanket, cuddling with my person, and we're watching a good movie. I have those moments where I go into these dips, where I feel like, it would be nice. Then I'm like, no, not gonna think like that. Let's go. Let's do something else. Let's do some other hobby. So I think, yeah, and I think also thinking about the partner, the type of partner I'd have, as I've alluded to. I think it's one of those things where I think to myself, would I be ready for baby mama drama as well? Because many people ask me, would I date someone who's got kids? And in the beginning, I was very much against that. I was like, no, I don't want a guy who's got kids. Not because I don't like children. It's because of that mama behind it. Now I don't like headaches, baby mama drama, and all of But then eventually, I'm slowly warming up to the idea, because one of my friends said to me, they were at your age, there are very few single older men who don't have children. Very few. If you ever find one, you must know he's like, I don't know, a dinosaur in this day and age. He's rare. And so I've had to think about it, that actually I might have to settle for that. So yeah, I think there are all these issues you have to think about. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's what I wanted to say for today. To say that, you know what, girls, ladies, don't compromise just to find a ring. Don't compromise your singleness. It's better to be single than to have a terrible, terrible relationship. That is my advice at the end of the day. I've been through it. I've been through a terrible marriage. I've come full circle, 360 degrees, from singleness to marriage to divorce to singleness. I've been through it all. And that's what I would say. Rather stay single and happy. At least you can travel, you can enjoy your money, you don't have anyone giving you headaches. Yeah, but also on the other hand, you do want to have a companion and you do want to have children. So make those wise decisions. Don't rush into it just because you want a surname. All right. So yeah, so hi Leila. Hi Chetza, hi Ntutugo, hi Palesa, hi Yanga, hi everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I don't know if you've got any questions, because I think I said everything I wanted to say. I don't know. Yeah, I've said everything I wanted to say for today. So if you don't have any questions, then I'll end things here. But if you do have more questions for me, please do post them in the comments, and I am more than happy to answer them. And yeah, I think next week, I'd promised to have a guest this week, but my guest had a birthday party to attend, so she couldn't be here. But I'm going to have a guest of mine, and we're going to discuss about her journey through divorce, in a very short, succinct way, but also talk about being single and over 30 from her perspective, because I've shared my perspective. Maybe you learn more from her. And yeah, so I thank you very much for joining me today. And may you all have a beautiful and a blessed week. And God bless you. Oh my gosh, this button and me.